Welcome to another workshop from the Writer's Block. This week I'll be discussing cozy fantasy. I'm your host, Cal Bowen. You may also know me as Coffee Pen Dragon. So what is the cozy fantasy genre, and how do I write it? How will I know if I'm reading it, and what makes it so special, so fun? Little background, while the tone and feel of cozy fantasy has been around for decades, the genre itself is relatively new to be named. It was spurred on by the release of Travis Baldrey's Literature and Lattes, but some older examples would be Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. One of the key things that makes a story cozy fantasy are low stakes. It involves everyday problems. Nothing is life-threatening, and the world is not coming to an end. You also are going to find that these stories are relatable, and the reader should be able to easily identify with the problems of your main character, the pursuit of their dreams or their life goals, finally settling down in a home of their own, and getting away from the harsh struggles of life. In a cozy fantasy story, you also want the reader to care about what happens to your main character. Can the reader connect with the problems of your main character? Does the reader think, I want this for me too? Is the goal of your main character something that the reader can easily identify with? The themes within cozy fantasy are lighter, and they're easier for a reader to follow, and they can relax as they travel along with your main character. Growing closer to family, whether it's a brother or sister or their mother and father. Discovering the family they never knew they had. This is that found family trope. The power of belonging to a community and finding their love of a lifetime. Some of the basic tropes you're going to find in a cozy fantasy story are an outsider protagonist. They begin alone and they find friendship or a family along the way. Magical objects or creatures, because it is still a fantasy story. Quirky and fun characters. You want something that's cute or funny within your story. Interesting animals, pets, and familiars, adding more cute and cuddly. And then simple and mundane magic. It's still fantasy, but simpler. Some of the sub-genres within the cozy fantasy, or sub-sub as I have written here, the cozy mystery, the road trip, the retired adventurer, the cozy romance. Anything that is fun and silly and makes the reader smile could be considered cozy. Some of the settings that you're going to find in a cozy fantasy story, they're going to take place in an inn or a tavern or a shop, or you may find the stories in a calm and peaceful forest. They may take place in small towns or villages, silly magical houses and castles, as I mentioned before, Howl's Moving Castle, at zoos, pet stores, or menageries. Again, we have the aspect of the animals and pets. In conclusion, to make a story qualify as cozy, then the world needs to be simple and yet fun. The story should be enjoyable to read and simple to understand without being boring. This is very important. The story should not bore the reader. And the story's ending should either be a happily ever after or a happy for now. And the reader should be able to finish a book feeling like the story is completed with a sense of accomplishment. You do not want to have a multi-part cozy story. You want it to start and end, and the reader feels satisfied. I'd like to thank you for joining my workshop this week, and I hope that you have a happy and wonderful wordsmithing day.